as well. And just as it was ending, there were a couple of the generals, possibly Pillow maybe. Pillow was with this army coming up, not commanding nothing, anything. I'm not, maybe staff officers, they got confused, but Hood, Cheatham, Stewart, Hood, Cheatham, Stewart, and Forrest were there. But one source is the little girl bringing in a plate of biscuits and ham, and she saw Forrest drawing his sword. They told her to leave immediately. Now, yes, but that's a family deal, but they described that for the rest of their lives, and that was here as well. And I'll get you the other sources. Sam feels, Stephen, I'll take her right here. He feels that Hood should not have attacked at Cobb's Farm, that's Georgia, you know, that's Atlanta, because Butterfield was on his right. That's what Butterfield was not on Hood's right. That's infantry, because relic hunters have found tons of carbines. That's where his dismounted cab on the right, and they had great bigs. You know, ask Greg about that. But I'm not. Sam's a good friend of mine, Stephen. But it was not Butterfield. It was not Butterfield. And, you know, that's the way it was. It was dismounted cab. And Hood blew it there. No doubt about it. That's at Cobb's Farm on the way to Atlanta. Cassville. Excuse me. I'm talking about Cassville is where this dismounted cab, not Cobb's Farm. It's Cassville. He blew it there. He
right
blew
between
it.
Kingston and Cassville.
Right. It's Cassville. And relic hunters found a ton of artifacts that are all dismounted cab stuff over there. Burnside, Spencer's, Sharps. That's where they're deployed, et cetera, et cetera. There's Rippavilla over here, but let's move on down, and then we're going to take a right, not there, but right there. Take a right there, Rick. This is Nathaniel Cheer's home, and certainly the family was here, and they're documented them being here too. They have the table where they serve the biscuit and ham here. Remember Bates' division firing on the leading elements coming up Columbia? Remember I said that, where's Bate? They're right over there to your left on that ridge line, and skirmishers are out firing on the leading elements at 4:30 p.m. That's where Bates was. Now we did a circular route, but as the crow flies, Flavors is back that way. I'm guessing about a mile and a half. I'm gonna do that. Can you make that turn, Rick? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna run in real quick and just tell them we're here. And if you want to buy something out of the gift shop, you say we're gonna have a little bit of time, and I just tell them we're here, and they'll let us walk. We'll see these signs there and whatever. I think it's a courtesy thing. They're good friends.
Any maps on this stop?
No, sir. Oh, well, the map you have, it will show the Thompson. It will show Rippavilla or the Nathaniel Cheer's home. It's on your map. Nathaniel.
Folks, we're moving over here.
Whoa!
Y'all can go in there if you want. It's your tour. We're there after. This is the direct quote. This is from Federal. We came within plain view of Hood's army as they were in bivouac to our right, not more than a half a mile. That's 800 yards. They had thousands of fires burning brightly. It was a rare and grand spectacle. Pretty much what I've told you already here, and it just notes the Federal command, how they're moving out. But here, as I've noted already, Bates was right here, starting fire on the leading elements coming up from Columbia about 4:30 p.m. Federals coming from Columbia. And as you know, Bates was ordered to fall back and align on Claiborne's left. And twice he was ordered this. Bates said, "Are you sure of this?" And that's when Cheatham threatened him with arrest because he didn't know Hood had ordered him here. And Bates went to Hood's headquarters. That's the Thompson place, presumably by the pond. And General Hood said, "Follow the commanding general on the field. He may have more information than I have." So I think that's a critical mistake, as I said 10 times. But the worst, I think, is leaving Stewart by that creek. That's the biggie. That is the biggie right there. Concerted effort at 5:15 p.m. was Cheatham's Corps, Stewart's Corps. The leading elements just coming up here. Now, one historian, I forget who, claims that they could have escaped to the west before Spring Hill. Some could have, but you got all your wagons here, and you got 7,000 men here, et cetera, and that's in the dark. They're going to be defeated in detail. That's my opinion. Some could escape, some could have got away, but not as a massive body of an army, et cetera, et cetera. And but this shows, of course, the map coming from Columbia. I did not bring maps of that. And then, of course, Spring Hill here, and then, of course, Franklin here as well. But I just wanted to show you this as well. Now, Rippavilla, itself, Italian name, built 3 times to make sure it's perfect. And it was very odd in the fact that used to see a former generation marry a woman by the same name. Not same family, but same name. And then I think Nat wanted to marry a different woman, different name. I don't know why that is. But the daddy offered him $5,000 enough to do that. That's a lot of money back then. And but he married her anyway. This was Bull Nelson's headquarters for a week when he's moving down to Shiloh. I feel he saved Buell's command moving down this. But Bull Nelson kept his headquarters here for a week. It was rainy and whatever, slow getting down there. And the family stayed in that back area while he was here as well. Also on the retreat from Nashville, Confederate stayed here on the retreat from Nashville as well. And Nathaniel Cheers, he was at Fort Donelson, and he was in charge of talking to Grant to get the surrender thing. And Grant asked him how many men are surrender, and he thought about 7,000. Grant more or less called him a liar. And Nathaniel Cheers, who now is a prisoner, he stands up, starts taking his coat off. And Grant said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Look, you're in power. I'm not. But my daddy taught me never take that kind of talk off of any man." And Grant said, "Look, okay, I didn't, nothing personal. Okay, but don't let it happen again." Isn't that odd? He went off to prison, but isn't that strange kind of deal? You know, you don't call a man a liar back then, and you don't call his mama a female dog. Because if you, My father taught me if any man calls my mom a female dog, I was 9 years old. He says, you do something about it. If you're at school, you get them off school grounds. I said, Daddy, why would they call mama a female dog? And he said, the terminology is son of a bitch. You don't ever let them say that. Okay. But back then, that's a killing offense. You call my mama that back then, I will kill you. I will kill you dead for that. You don't talk to my mama about my mama like
you
that.
a puppy.
Yeah. Damn puppy is the same thing as a son.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what it meant when you said a damn puppy.
That means your mama's a female dog.
Oh,
And
okay.
and that's a nice way of calling you an SOB. And yeah. Sir? Yeah. If you want to walk around to the front of the house, we got time. And walk around the front, and there's beautiful boxwoods that are period. They were there during the war, and it's just gorgeous. And what time is it, by the way? I don't have a...
11:30.
It's 11:30? 11:30. 15 minutes, we'll board the bus. So 11:45, we'll board the bus. And I heard you walk in their gift shop. They're very kind to let us be here.
Do you know what part of the house was built first and what was the original?
From the Pinch District, and wonderful lads. They loved Claiborne, and Claiborne loved him. Claiborne loved them. But coming to this campaign, the provost was out to keep them away from the farmers. And of course, they're starved to death and would, take things. And when they were caught, where did the food go to? To General James A. Smith, who was their former colonel. They hated James Smith. They called him mean as a hyena, quote unquote. And he was the one that said the most rascally son of men ever went unhung. So now he's a general, and the 5th Confederate, every time something was captured, where'd it go? To Smith's tent. He'd eat it. So I don't condone this. I love dogs. I told one of the ladies back here. But they had it in for James A. Smith. They killed a dog dressed up like a mutton. And they let it get captured. They watched General Smith eat his mutton, which was a dog. And when he comes out, they all yell out as one, who killed the dog? The 5th Confederate. Who captured the dog? The provost. And who ate the dog? General Smith. Bow wow, bow wow, bow wow.
Is this a real story?
That's a real story. And 20 years later, James A. Smith is writing the article titled, Who Ate the Dog? By General James A. Smith. They were coming up. They were in Lucius Polk's brigade until Polk got his leg, nearly torn off in Atlanta campaign. And then they put them with Granbury's Texas Brigade. And I love the 5th Confederate. Just love them. I told you about the barrels of whiskey capture, and I told you about General Cheatham, and there's another story on Who Ate the Dog by General James A. Smith.
It couldn't be all bad if you tell a story like that.
I love the stories. That's what it's all about for me. Part of it. Well, because of time, and I know, are y'all getting a little bit hungry?
Yes. Who ate the dog?
Well, down where we're going to stop, they do have possum. They have sweet potatoes in their mouth, by the way. Because there's ladies here, I'm not going to say whatever. Me growing up with my grandfather, I'm not going to do that.
So what about Jesse?
I'm just kidding about the possum. I'm just kidding. Take a right. And but because of time and you're hungry, we're not going to stop by the Van Dorn house, because all we're going to do is pull in the back of it and say, there's where you're looking out. But we'll drive right by. But people have asked about Van Dorn and Dorn. So Dr. Peters wanted the letter of apology. I'll be darned if somebody messed with my wife, I wouldn't ask for a letter of apology, I'll tell you that. And apology would be a fist right upside your head to begin with. Maybe, more than that. But Dr. Peters went to get his letter. It wasn't to his satisfaction. As I already told you, Van Dorn's last words were, take the door, you damn puppy. Last thing he heard was a click. And that's that pistol clicking back. Shot him right back behind the right ear. And the ball was bubbling right out here. And the 16-year-old daughter of Dr. Peters from our first marriage